you have any, is there any advice that you would like to share with these young actors and actresses that are coming up through the ranks?
One of the things that I think to me is like one of the most important things, I guess, in anything we do, in life, in career, whatever, in show business, is follow your instinct. Pay attention to what your heart and your mind tells you. Because when things are going on around you, and there are different voices with different opinions and so on, and they're coming from people you think are supposed to know, and a lot of times they don't, you start, because I know that's what I've done. There were times when I didn't listen to my instinct. I wanted to, but I didn't have the courage to. So I would say, whatever's going on, step back, take a deep breath, whatever, and listen to what you're telling yourself. Listen to your own instinct, because it's always right. It's always right.
Excellent. He wanted to know, how did you develop the character of Bernardo? Where did you start? Where did it come
from? That's interesting, because to create a character, because I had not studied acting prior to that time, my way of working, and it wasn't a conscious way of thinking, it's just something that my instinct told me to do, and that was to identify with the character, who he was, what he was going through, what circumstances he had to live with on a daily basis, and so on. And when I was in school myself, when I was in high school, there were sororities and fraternities, and the kids who were. I was asked once to join a fraternity, and for some reason I didn't want to do it. And I think the reason I didn't want to do it, I'm sorry, I'm getting to your answer, I hope at the same time, was because I didn't like this thing of some kids included and some kids excluded. Some kids were in, some kids were out. And I have never approved of kids doing that to each other, So, so with Bernardo and the Sharks, the Jets, for example, their family was the gang. The Sharks had families. They had mothers and fathers and grandmothers and cousins and each other. So when they came to the new country or a new place, and when they were on the first day out on the street, they're looked down upon, they're called names. And so I've always felt badly for anybody who has that kind of experience. So I think I identified with that aspect of Bernardo's character in West Side Story. And of course, he's going to have to rebel against that and fight against it, because it is wrong, So.
Hi, my name is Jordan, I guess. And my question is, do you ever watch yourself in anything you do? And if so, what's going through your mind?
Oh, well, when it was, when we were working on West Side, Natalie Wood, the beautiful, perfect, great Natalie Wood. But she was 23, but she was a professional. She'd been in movies since she was a kid, and she watched the rushes every day. That's what you do. You watch her work, see what you've done, and see if you want to change anything or work on it. And one day she said, George, to come to the rushes. I went to the rushes one day, and that was enough for me. I didn't want to see anything, So, because I've always found, for me, it's better not to look at myself. It's kind of like being in the theater and reading a review. If a review is bad, it gets in your way. If it's good, it gets in your way. So it's better. I felt better. I've never felt comfortable looking at myself. Let me put it that way. I've always liked just doing the work. And now, with a lot of years later, sometimes I can look at something and kind of. I had to go to a screening of West Side Story like about 10 days ago. and I hadn't seen it in a long time. I still get uncomfortable. It's like I would have changed, but that's a long answer to your question. I don't like looking at myself that much.
All right. George, thank you. That's it.
Maria. The most beautiful sound I ever heard. Maria.